This video is brought to you by Gunpla SA, South Africa's favorite place for Gunpla, related tools, supplies, resources, community and so much more. Check out gunplasa.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Gunpla SA episode 5.
Yeah, GPSA episode 5.
GPSA, the podcast, number 5. And
Sure.
Jeff and I are super excited. There's been some great news that's just come out in the Gundam and in the Gundam world. And we can get to all of that in a second, well, in a couple of minutes. But let's start off with our usual, hey Jeff, how are you and what are you up to, dude?
Oh yeah, pretty good, man. So, today's a very exciting day, and lately I've been finally getting to my RG new build. I actually have in the background here. So finally building something, and then finally getting to this. I got this kit in August last year from my friend Leo from the States.
Very cool post, by the way.
Get it? Yeah, so finally. Yeah, nice. So I'm almost done with it. I just got the weapons and, the shield and weapons and all that. So finally, as you can see, my little RG Sazabi there, he's been a bit lonely for the past few years. So finally,
he needs
he's getting his buddy.
Him.
And also, our build force in the Discord, he sent me, he was in the UK, Screech, he was in the UK recently, and he got me this Groove Custom with the build challenge, and he gave to me a load shedding challenge where I have to customize and paint the kit without any power tools. So that's going to be interesting. At least I can still use my lights and then my camera to film the process. So there's that. But yeah,
Gundam like it's 1998.
Yeah. And then speaking of, we also had with Gunpla SA last week was really exciting because we got our new stock. And me personally, I was behaving. I didn't grab any kits this time, but I know that with the next one, it's coming. But this time I knew I have to behave, so I just grabbed myself a very useful tool, a pot separator, not a ocarina. But yeah, and Paul, you also grabbed one for yourself. I actually used it on my RG News. So efficient, because before I have to use a craft knife,
and you have to get in there, and it's
to wedge. If I have to open a pod, I have to use a craft knife and just wedge the pod. But this just makes it so much more time efficient. So
it's way more convenient.
So what about you? How's your day been?
Oh, dude, I've been good. Busy with the cool work stuff as usual, and then I've been putting in my 30 minutes of building every day, or 30 minutes of
30 minutes missions
modeling.
of kits.
30-minute mission. It's more realistically an hour because I set aside an hour, but I like to plan it as 30 minutes, so that I have an excuse to get to it. When we got our new stock, one of the things that I was excited about, excited about having arrive,
show us!
Was my Ultraman. Yeah.
This is Ultraman version 7.5 action, hey?
7.5 action, which means he's got
looks so cool.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, he's a rad little guy. I've got some things to say about him, which I will say in a video that I'm busy with.
Sure, he's quite tall, eh?
Yeah, he is quite tall. I mean,
how does it compare? How does it compare to a gun? Do you have a Gunpla next to you?
I have got a Gunpla nearby. It's a bit of a big one, and it doesn't have its head, but this is it next to a Sasabi.
Bruh. Oh. Okay.
So next to Sasabi, it's about that tall.
Okay.
And then it's just a little bit bigger than. And a weird twist. I actually don't have any action figures near me, except for this guy. I've got Stinkor, and Stinkor is a little bit taller than most action figures in his scale. But I mean, compared to typical sort of, they're almost about the same height. So, pretty decent.
Cool.
And super easy build. That's the one thing I've got to say. The build is incredibly easy. Yeah, and like I said, I've got a lot of stuff to say about this, but I'm not going to say it all here. I'm going to save it for
yeah.
And then guys, just quickly as a reminder, check out Jeff Jeff did that video with Screech, that load shedding.
Oh,
thing that's actually on our
Yeah, we did a vlog.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So go and give that a bit of a shot. Screech
Yeah, he
is quite
did some
funny.
filming on. Yeah, he did some filming on his side as well, which sets it up really nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you showed off your Ultraman. There was a few other things that you got as well, right?
Yeah. I got I don't have it here because it's in the lounge, but I've got I bought a little Jigglypuff model kit for Pokemon, a Pokepla. And then I also got one of those part separated things, and I actually used it on the Ultraman. It is super useful. I like, for me, I found that what was really great about that part separator was I always hate using my knife sometimes to do that kind of stuff. When you made a mistake, or when you want to take apart a piece or a portion that you built. Sometimes it does happen. Doesn't happen to me that much anymore, but sometimes you do like slip and cut your fingers and things like that. So it's nice to have this. It feels a lot more safe. I would just say one word of caution. Maybe it's just because of years of having used a knife. With this thing, you have to get used to the fact that it's got a bit more power. So you don't want to like go too hard. I felt that there was one point where I got too hard, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, especially you want to just wedge it in slightly, and you go to the other side and you wedge it, then you come back. You never want to wedge too much on one side, and because it might snap the pegs on the inside.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what I found is like with this tool, it's going to save me so much time going forward, especially when I do paint a kit. Obviously, first you assemble a kit, and then I assemble it once to like start sanding and stuff, and afterwards. I will stop priming, and after I primed the kit, I put it together again just to see it primed. Sometimes you want to take photos of, and then you got to take it apart again. Then you paint your base coats, and sometimes I like to put them together again, partially top coat it together, and then sometimes I might want to just disassemble it again. Just so there's lots of like assembling. So there's lots of going back and forth. So like having a parts opener, it's just it's going to be so much more.
No, I feel you, man.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm busy. I'm sure the Build Force has seen this, but I've been busy on my Zaku quite a bit. And there've been portions that I've had to remove, and I've used that tool on some of those parts, and it's been cool because I haven't scratched the paint. So I've been able to work quite nicely with it, which is nice. So, yeah guys, sorry. I know this sounds like a serious sales pitch, but it's actually more a case of we've discovered this thing, and it's so great, and we just feel you guys should have it. And I'm sure a lot of the Lego guys, like Loud Lungs, for example, understand where we're coming from, because he uses with Lego they have this little orange Lego removal piece.
Yeah, and it's like a door stopper kind of thing.
Yeah, and that makes your life so much easier. So it's basically that, but for Gundam. Anyway.
Yeah. And actually, coming back to the topic of today, before we go into this new announcement that was announced today, we were planning to just have a podcast today on covering, the work in progress of our Discord, giving the guys extra love and all that. But, today, I think the Bandai gods or Papa Gundam has heard us and said, Gunpla say they're doing a podcast today. Let's drop the news. Yeah.
The Gundam gods. This is just Crossbone, but ooh, the Gundam gods. So what good news did the Gundam gods deliver us? Well, there's this new anime coming from Gundam. I'm sure a lot of you know about it already.
We're gonna just cut in the teaser. Hey, it's just a 30 seconds teaser, very quick. So have a quick watch if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen in.
Okay, so what did you guys think? Hey, that was quite a teaser, huh? So first of all, what is this? So this is the new anime that's coming out in October, called Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch
from Mercury.
From Mercury. Yeah. So actually, this anime was actually first announced back in February, I think. And then back then they just dropped the name with the logo, so we didn't know anything. Finally today,
Yeah.
Yeah?
Actually, it was a little earlier than that.
Is it?
Sometime last year. Yeah, they announced there was some, I don't know if it was at an anime meeting or something, but Sunrise had announced. Yeah, it was a press release, and they had a list of stuff that they're working on, and one of them was Hathaway's Flash, the second part for Hathaway's Flash, or for Hathaway, I keep calling it Hathaway's Flash. Then there was, and I don't know if this is still happening, but apparently there's a Crossbone anime coming out. And on that same list was this anime called The Witch From Mercury. And the thing is, we still don't know if these are all going to be anime. Obviously now we know The Witch From Mercury will be, and we know that Hathaway is. But these could have also been game projects, because there's quite a list of stuff. And that was it. That was
Yeah, they only dropped the name with the logo, so like we don't know what it was going to be, like whether it was going to be for a game. Again, like what you said.
Yeah, so there was also a lot of hype about IBO as well with that new one, which is a game.
Yeah. So it's so great to finally have confirmation from this teaser video that this The Witch from Mercury is going to be a full-on anime for national TV, and it's actually been a long time coming, because like this is going to be the first original anime for TV after 7 years when IBO first came out, because after that they created, I think, Build Divers, which they went straight onto YouTube, and they had the SD anime series as well, which also they just published on their YouTube. So this has actually been a long time coming since IBO that was aired on TV. Yeah, exactly.
It's just been, and then they haven't done an actual Gundam series. It's actually hard to believe that it's been 7 years since Unguarded Orphans, hey? Wow, that's quite crazy.
And this is actually like such a refreshing take, because like this is also the first time that, at least to my knowledge, this is the first time where a Gundam TV anime has a female protagonist. So it's going to be so refreshing,
Yeah, and guys, just for the record, I mean, Jeff and I did speak about this just a little bit beforehand, but we've been trying to save this whole conversation for this, so we all just ready to explode. But like Jeff mentioned, it is the first TV series or Gundam TV series to have a female protagonist, because believe it or not, the Gundam mythology or the Gundam lore or whatever's, there are female protagonists, and they do have their own series, but often only in things like manga or the video games, like that new the new game on PS5, which is
the Battle Operations 2.
Yeah, that's with codename Fairy or whatever it is. That's all female characters, for example. So but what's remarkable about this character is that she doesn't seem like one of those typical anime vixens. She's not
like sexualized.
I'm the main character. She's like, she looks moody. She looks dark. She kind of reminds me a bit of she reminds me a bit of Amuro, Camille Bidan kind of vibe from her. That's what I'm getting from her.
I actually feel
cool.
it's the silent portrayal of her at the moment. Well, look, it's only it's like a 20-second teaser actually. So there wasn't too much shown about her, but I get a feel that she's kind of like Mika from IBO, where it's like she doesn't need to speak. It's like more about action than words,
Yeah, and I think, and it would be cool if like Bandai, for example, tries to get into the depths of this character, because it is a female character, and it would be nice if it's a female character, not a male character represented as a female character. And what I mean by that is, we often see that so much in anime, where there's a female character. Actually, we see it a lot in all media, where there's a female character, but actually it's basically a character that was written for a guy that's being played by a woman, and therefore it's not really a female character. It's just a female avatar. So it'll be cool. The last time there's a really great manga, it's called A Call the Soul, or The Seal, and it's about a student going through the mobile suit training and all of that, and that has a female character, and that was actually written by the woman who wrote Macross, and that was really, really great. So anyway,
Yeah.
we're going off topic now. We're speculating lots.
Yeah.
But,
So just to because obviously we've got a next category to go to, which is to show the concept art. But I think before we do that, sorry, Paul, do you want to just show the web page as well? You can see the poster that they've shown as well.
I was about to say, here you go. If you guys want to see the poster.
Because there's actually something I want to go into. Yeah, before we go into the concept art that they revealed, based on this poster that they've shown, I'm thinking is this Gundam series going to be a standalone thing, or is it connected? Because so far it seems like it's a standalone, but I also have a feeling that it could be connected to certain things, even just the designs. It has that IBO feeling, and if I have to think about the story around IBO, there was whole it was the synopsis was like the Mars was getting ruled by Earth, right? So now with the Witch to Mercury, could it be in the same IBO universe?
It could be. Listen, that's an interesting take. I must say, IBO is not what I thought of at all. When I saw this, I immediately got like a very Reconquista and G feel from it. And I also got a bit of Gundam Moon, that kind of feeling from it as well. But I think that's got a little bit to do with the art direction, because this is... Yeah. But I feel like the design of the mobile suits are so... I want to say kind of alien. They're very unlike other Gundam units before, except the exception being Reconquista and G. They
even a bit of a turn A.
A little bit of a turn A vibe. So I'm thinking what might actually happen, what could be the case is, if it's set in Universal Century timeline, I feel like it's going to be like super, super far in the future, like incredibly far ahead. Like past turn A or close to turn A, or Reconquista and G, somewhere around that. It could be like part of that. The part of me is thinking that, like, if it is in the UC world, because I don't see this happening in UC closer to the Shah and Amuro sort of side of things. Like, I don't see it in that space. And then if it is its own thing, and what makes sense to me, and we sort of spoke about this a little bit before before shooting this episode, but I think it's important for Bandai traditionally Bandai does very well, and Sunrise do very well when they do a fresh IP. So when they did Double O,
so that it's more accessible for new people to come in as well, without, because UC is very popular, but then like you always feel like it's almost dedicated for the fanboys kind of thing, and it's not as accessible, where they're more popular series are more accessible, because they are standalone. So I hope this is standalone as well. But I do feel like there could be some connection to IB. Like, that's my take. You feel if it's set in UC, it's going to be far distant in the future, and I feel if it's connected to IBO, it's probably going to be maybe like, I don't know, 50 or 100 years in future of IBO. I don't know, because the technology does look similar, especially with the feet and the ankle.
I suppose it's got a bit of that Barbatos rear ankle going on there. The thing that the one thing is, and I suppose this is worth mentioning, in Gundam in Universal Century, Jupiter, for example, is almost its own thing. Like, so you've got, the Earth, you've got Side 2, and you've got like the sort of neighboring planets that sort of exist in that part of the solar system. And that's fine, but then you got like Jupiter, which is kind of its own government and is not on the best terms with anybody. And so Crossbone, for example, takes place in that side of space. That's why the Crossbone Gundam has those big boosters, etc. in the back. So if this is UC and it is like, and it is saying that this is the Witch from Mercury, that means that there's some kind of colony or some kind of group that has pushed itself to Mercury and chosen to be forgotten, and has removed itself from all of the conflicts that have been happening, and has just stayed there silently and chilling and living its own life. So that's how I see how it can maybe fit in.
My thinking from the name is that it says it's from Mercury, Witch from Mercury. So maybe the setting is somewhere else, but you get this like new character where people don't know her origin. And yeah. So
Very
look, again, we don't know.
mysterious stuff,
We just have to see. Okay, so the shows are starting to air in October in Japan, but they have announced the prologue that's releasing in summer. So that's around between June to I think August. That's Japan summer or Northern Hemisphere summer. So from the prologue that is before the series, you might get a more idea of what the series is about. So we'll see.
Yeah,
it's
dude, I'm excited about the prologue. And I think let's not speculate too hard, but I think we're going to mention this.
Yeah, let's move on to So on their official website, with their official website, they've shown three concept art to their mobile suits. Yeah, so there's the main one. Cool. So what is this?
Pardon me. So we got the Gundam Aerial.
Cool.
Which
I love. Looks very unique.
I think it looks super cool. And
we've got a back view as well. Hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pardon me. So I feel you here with the sort of Barbatos IBO vibes. And then here, I'm definitely feeling the Reconquista and G, especially the way that they've separated the yellow and the blue.
I feel it's also the light blue color scheme. Yeah, I think the whole color scheme is very close to G Self from Reconquista and G. Yeah,
and the shape language as well. I kind of I wonder. I mean, I wonder how new these designs are actually. For all we know, these could have been designs that were done for Reconquista and G, and because they were never used in Reconquista, because Reconquista was essentially kind of scrapped. So maybe this is a side story of Reconquista that they're sort of changing into its own thing. I don't know. But anyway, this is very cool. And so far, dude, just looking at the artwork before we move on to the next one, what are your favorite features? What are you seeing that you like already?
Yeah, so my favorite features is probably the legs. Especially around the thighs. It's got like heat sinks. Is it called?
Yeah, heat sinks. Yeah.
And also just the head itself. It looks very like a Quanta.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I'm feeling the head as well. I think the head is really, really awesome. I love the shield, and I'm really loving the chest. I think it's so difficult to, like, sometimes you'll get like a really great head, great arms, great legs, and then the chest like lets me down, or it's the other way around. Everything else is great and the head's ugly. So far from me, this is like so win. I'm so invested in this visually. I
do feel the shoulders might look a bit small, but it might just be the concept art. Because in the teaser when we saw the Gundam like kind of waking up, the shoulders look much bulkier. And also, look, we did see the model kits as well, and the model kits proportions look have a bulkier.
They're slimmer and they're balanced better visually, at least for me. I think better balanced. I think this is very visually balanced for anime or for animation, which is like its own thing. Also, and quickly, sorry, before we move on, quick. Do you get the feeling that maybe there's going to be like, I mean, obviously there's going to be, it's Gundam, but it looks like they're going to add shoulders, like bigger shoulders or something to this. Like it's going to get other extra armor and whatever.
Yeah. So, well, look, with every Gundam show, especially for the protagonist suits, they always goes through upgrades throughout the show, So there's probably going to be an add-on pack of something. We don't know. But what I do love about this, when it comes to designs from IBO, they were really unique, and I really loved them. There was just only one thing that griped me, was that the lack of armor around the waist. It just had the pistons showing, and I just felt like, that's like, it felt, obviously these things are anime. They weren't realistic, but I just felt like, if I was a opponent, whatever, I'm just gonna aim for your waist because you have no armor there. So with this has the kind of IBO feel, but now this time, at least their waist is protected, so
sealed.
I feel much better with these.
So that's Gundam
looks really
Aerial.
cool. Yeah,
Cool. And then we
cool.
got, and then like they're specifically saying like prologue here. So I imagine this unit
Yeah.
and the following unit are going to be exclusive to the prologue. So I suspect we
Yeah.
might not see Ariel in the prologue until the very end or
Yeah.
something.
So maybe it's like a few years before or something. Yeah.
Or something. So the
So this
first
is
feeling I get from
Gundam.
this. This
So
is
this is
Gundam
Gun-
Lafrith or Lafrith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, you said you looked up on a name.
Yeah, I
word.
went and did a bit of online sleuthing. So guys, like, please do not hold me to this. This is just basically what I could infer. But when they name stuff in Gundam, they don't do it by accident. They do a lot of stuff on purpose. And this is like
so
old.
like, so for example, IBO, all the Gundam frames were named after like demons, isn't it?
Yeah, they were named after demons from the grimoire from Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So, like Lafrith, for example, means it's got a lot to do with like with peace
and protection
and stuff. So that's where this name is. So it's like
apparently it's Gaelic or something, or
it's also So it's like I said, it's Old English. So I mean, it's possible it falls into the Gaelic side of things or into ancient Scottish. Listen, guys, I'm no word scientist, whatever the name is. But looking up, the etymology of this word, or looking up this word, so the best I could find was that. So, so it's interesting.
Yeah,
so these units, this unit obviously then, if you have to take that name into consideration, there's obviously this idea that these are protectors, that they're designed to protect something. They're defenders, they're not necessarily enforcers or war machines, is one of the feelings that I'm sort of getting from that name.
Well, it does have a big shield, and shields are about protecting,
yes.
right? So, yeah.
And it's quite a big shield. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Gundam units with kind of smaller shields, or no shields in the case of IBO. I mean, there's pretty much no shields in IBO. So, yeah, seeing this big shield now in an anime again, it's a thing in a Gundam anime. So,
well, there's something I want to say about the shield, but I think I can say more about that when I see the model kits. Or I mean, not see, when we show the model kits.
Save it for the model kit.
But what I can see about this, me personally, I'm more leaning towards this design compared to Gundam Ariel, because I don't know. Okay, first thing is the color scheme, like.
That's very cool.
I get tired or fatigued from the classic, Gundam color scheme was like a white, blue, yellow, red. This is much more refreshing to me. And looking at this, it's kind of got a Astray, red frame kind of, because it also has a black chest over there, even though it's actually clear the chest. But yeah, whatever. But this, what's refreshing to me as well is the gun It looks like very different and unique. It's like a hollowed part that shoots out of. Like it's just really weird. I don't know if it shoots like shotgun type of laser beams or something, but
I definitely get an energy feel from it.
Yeah. I do feel there's a gimmick to it, but yeah, again, I'm suspecting like these gimmicks when I see the model kits. So yeah. Also, what do you think?
Oh, okay, so my thing, I'm just so in love with these designs, and I'm going to quickly switch back here, quickly check here at the back of the Ariel. You can see it's kind of empty here, and then I go...
Sorry, empty where?
And the back, so over here. So if you look here at the back, when I say it's empty, it looks like there's a connection point there. It looks like that's a connection point, that kind of thing. But when I come to the Lafrith, or Lafrith, however it's pronounced, somebody in the comments will tell us, don't worry. I feel like, look at this backpack. It's like completely different to what we see on the Ariel. Like this looks like an attachment, so this is like almost like a flight support thing. Also there's boosters in the legs, and boosters in the front of the legs. I love this design, dude. This thing is super sexy.
So what I love about the boosters, the thrusters in the front, is you can't really see it in this concept art, but when you see the model kits, you'll see it much better. It's like on a knee, but the thing is, it's also protected, because like we've seen model kits in the past where they have like thrusters in the front, for example.
And it's just like,
what's that blue one from IBO? I can't.
The Schwabel,
know which one?
or the
No. that grays, and also the Gundam frame that has the 2 pistols and what you call it, a fencing.
Oh,
You know which one I'm talking about? The black and blue one, yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It also has like thrusters in the front by the knee, and they're just not protected, you know. So to see this mobile suit with its thruster in the front by the knee, but it has like a knee armor, knee cop over it, that just it feels much more thought of, you know.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of consideration here. I also like that when you look at this and you look at the aerial and you kind of put them next to each other, there seems to be some kind of relationship with regards to their design. They look like they're related in some way. Either this is the prototype, and then this becomes the aerial Gundam, or this is the mass-produced unit that's based off the aerial Gundam.
I think if this is a mass-produced unit, like it looks too awesome to be a mass-produced. But actually, looking at the concept art, because I didn't notice the detail when I was looking at the model kits. Looking at the concept art, if you look at the back, the bottom 2 thrusters on the backpack, do you see there's like little green? It looks like camera sensors.
Oh, these over here.
Yeah. No. On the thruster.
The little blue ones here in the thrusters, yeah.
Yes. So that makes me think, could this backpack transform into a drone and actually have guns attached to it? Because why would you have like camera sensors on the thrusters? If
that's a good point. Yeah, and I also feel like this gun connects to this somehow as well. Definitely.
Yeah, there's some gimmicks going on here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be
obviously,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're going to surprise us down the line, I'm sure. Like, we're going to discover it when we watch the show. So,
also loving seeing things like the piping here in the legs. This is going to be very exciting. Should I move on to the next one so long? Or... Oh, wait, I forgot to ask you, what's your favorite part? Sorry, man.
I would say the head and the back piping on the legs, and also just the thrusters on the back and on the knee. You know, it looks really great. And speaking about piping, you know, with the IBO kits, they expose the piping quite a bit, especially on the back of the legs. And I feel this one, they do have those pipings, but at least there's armor like more closer to it, so it's better protected. So this I feel it's much better than you know how I feel about IBO. There's too many exposed weak points, I think, in IBO kit.
But that's kind of one of the charms of IBO's design. Not to go into too much, but like things are always. I was talking to somebody about this with He-Man designs, and why He-Man or Masters of the Universe designs are cool, because they are fundamentally uncool. They're actually kind of ugly and goofy, but they have like enough coolness in them. You know, there's like a balance, and I feel IBO has that as well. IBO has this like ferocity, but a lot of weakness that also gives it this like great balance. But what
it makes the battle feel a bit more exciting, I suppose. Like it's like a very risky melee battles. But I just feel with these designs, it's almost like they took what they learned with IBO and they said, okay, how do they do the best refinement from all the previous series, you know, going forward.
Which then lends some credit to your theory that this could be set in the Iron-Blooded Orphan universe.
Yeah, like in a distant future or something.
Yeah, because then like some of these things have been considered, you know, like in the advancements of technology and whatever. So for me, and if our viewers are watching my mouse pointer, I like this part of the mech. Okay, no, I'm kidding. But I really do. I think this is, I love the whole thing. I think the color scheme is so great because it's like that Cubile color, which I just love that scheme. But I love the head. I think the head looks so aggressive and almost skull-like, and I love that about that. And I think this backpack is too cool. I really like this backpack. And I think the thing, like if I was a kid in a toy shop right now and I had to look at these two and I could only choose one, I would probably, me personally, would lean towards this one because I like seeing all the boosters and things like that popping up.
So, and this, you know, generally with the main protagonist Gundams, they all kind of feel they've got to stay in line with, you know, the traditional Gundam feel, just with a different spin on it. Whereas the non-lead Gundams, they can always go a bit more creative and
get more exotic.
Yeah, like unchained, like not held back. And also just looking at this one, if I look at the chest, it almost looks like a face. It's like it's got like little green eyes and a mouthpiece. Yeah.
Yeah, over here. So now
cute,
nobody can unsee it now. Astray has a similar thing actually. And then we get to this one, which is the
third one. Yeah.
I think it's pronounced Begwa Bu or Begwa Bu.
Something.
And
like
this
French.
is, it's got the closest thing I could find to this is actually French, and it's roughly translated, because French is not my language. Roughly translated, it's strong woman. Roughly translated. Okay.
Well, it looks like it's got a very feminine feel with the curvy lines, the shape language, the curviness, and the colors, the color palettes, like jacaranda. It looks like a jacaranda.
Like jacaranda blossoms. So because these colors are typically associated with sort of femininity. So for me, I'm just like, they're Japanese robot colors. So, dude, what do you think of this one? What are your thoughts here?
Okay, so before I comment about this one, I actually just like on all these three concepts that they've announced, is that this whole thing's got a very feminine like push to it, and it's like, I don't know, I'm super excited about these. Like, it's not like it's not manly enough for me or something. It's like, no, man, it's just like I love the designs, and it's so refreshing.
And they're very balletic. They've got a very like ballet kind of vibe to them.
Yeah, especially this one.
I love that about it.
It's like tippy toes. Yeah, it's got like claws as well. Yeah.
Which makes me feel like this is a bad guy. But most probably. But yeah, it's got a very flower feel to it. The wings on its back is almost like petals. The first thing that I was like drawn to is the balls on its back, and I'm thinking like, what kind of weapon are those? Like, is it like funnel? Funnel detachable, remote control? Not remote controlled, but like remote controlled funnel weapons that just flies around and shoots. Mind controlled. I feel like one of the major emphasis behind this, just from looking at it, I feel like it's power. I think these all these lenses here, I feel like this all lends to some kind of beam weapon or some kind of powerful
we've seen
suppression weapon.
We've seen something like that with Rico Ginster and G. They shoot,
because you get the reflective things that come out and whatever.
And they shoot like homing laser beams, that kind of thing. So it's kind of got that vibe to it.
So I feel like that's all gonna come out of this stuff here, and I think the reason that the boosters are designed like this, or the thrusters are designed like this, is because this thing is meant to be like crazy fast.
So you just think it's multi-directional thrusters, eh?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Like, I feel like it's just gonna be like.
Yeah, I'm actually imagining like, like we get the traditional funnels in a lot of funnels, dragoons, whatever you call it. You get these mind-controlled things that just fly around and shoot. These balls actually look like they can have like laser spikes coming out of them, and then just like spin and fly into you and just
almost
do
like
Okay. I don't know. We'll see what it's gonna be when the what's a prologue comes out. Yeah, because it does already have thruster on its back though. That center thing.
Yeah, and it's got all the little positional ones here. So then, if I have to look at it the way you're looking at it, then what makes sense to me is that the big round one is the weapon part, and then the small round ones are the moving parts.
Or it can have all the holes can have spikes on it, so it becomes like a flying mace that spins around. I don't know.
Also, the cockpit sitting here is very interesting. It's very turn A. The style of cockpit.
Yeah, it's got a clear, because it's usually cockpits in traditionally is quite protected, but if that is a cockpit, which we think it is, it's quite exposed. Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, like in turn A, it's like sitting there on the waist, on the hips.
On the crotch.
Actually, in the pelvic area.
Well, it is a cockpit
the
So,
cockpit.
yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
it's probably because like this thing maneuvers too quick, so it's like, you know, nobody can hit it. So it's like, yeah, why do I need protection from my cockpit when nobody
that's
can actually hit me? So it's kind
exactly
of
the
cocky.
point I'm trying to make there. Yeah, that's like it's not super armored because it can move so quickly, and because it's also offensively very powerful. I mean, even here, like if I look at the wrists, they are like, this looks like some kind of correctional thruster, you know, like whatever's got these wings here. I mean, even the shape of these weapons and whatever's looks like they're designed to assist with and back movement as well. So that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, and in all honesty, when I see this as a whole, I think it's amazing. But it's very difficult for me to like. So the other two, I can pull apart things. I can be like, I really love this section of it, love that section, and I love the whole. This one, I only love it as a whole. I don't like anything removed from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's
like,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. The other two look kind of similar, so you can almost like kit bash. Because they have similar design language, but this one, unless there's other suits in this class and its type, then this one just gotta stay, you know, by itself, I suppose. But that's fine.
Hey, yeah. Listen, I mean, it's still a cool mobile suit. It's also, I don't know how this is for you, but I know that in the past when they've announced new Gundam series, and then they show us like some of the concept art and whatever's that comes out. You know, you always look at them and you go, okay, I like that one, I don't like that one, that one's okay. And then you look at one of them and you're like, but then there's always like that one that you maybe like a bit more, and then sometimes you'll see it and you'll be like, I love this one, but the others are okay. For me, this is the first time in a long time, I think, where I've looked at this and gone, I love all of these. That's just my feeling. I've loved everything that I've seen from this so far. I know that when 00 came out, I was like, curious, awesome, you know, because it took me a while. There's a lot of designs in 00 that I'm like, they are very cool and also very, well, they're cool for other people. And Reco G as well. Reco G has also got that whole vibe where I'm like, it's well designed. I just don't love it all.
There's some winners and some losers. But looking at all three of these concepts, they haven't announced who's, you know, in the production team. Like, you know, they haven't mentioned. I don't think they have mentioned. They haven't mentioned who the director is, the producer, or the character designer, and the mechanic designer, and all that. So just looking based on these three concepts, I almost feel it's the mechanical designer could be what's it? I wrote his name down. Kanetake Ibukawa, who was the mechanical designer for 00, for Exia, 00 Gundam, and also the Quanta. Who can, especially from this feminine looking kit, like the legs look very much like Quanta, I think. And then the same designer also worked on IBO, but he worked on like the Floras, the Greys, the Grimoires. So he didn't do the other like lead Gundams. But I can see like there's similarities. And also for the recent Build Divers, he worked on the Core Gundam. So, the Core Gundams and all the, you know, attachment that comes with it. So that almost makes me thinking like, is there going to be quite a bit of a kid bashing craziness going on?
Well, I think Kanetake Ibukawa is definitely involved in this. But I feel like the guy who did the designs for this, and I do want to, and pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure. I'm going to type. But
also, again, like you don't only get one mechanical designer for the whole entire Gundam series. There's going to be a few guys, you know, that especially when there's different fractions of mobile suits, you want each designer's take to have their own flavor, kind of thing, you know. So
for Reconquista G, and this is why I just wanted to double check, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't put my foot in it or anything. But none of the mechanical, like for example, Kanetake Ibukawa was not a mech designer on Reconquista G. But other guys like Akira Yasuda, Ippei Gyobu, Kimitoshi Yamane, and Seiichi Nakatani, they were all involved on this. And I suspect one or two
maybe
of
they're
them
just
are
working
involved
together.
with this. Are definitely involved
most
with this.
likely.
And also, I mean, guys, like, something to note as well with multiple mech designers. Arguably one of the most popular and one of the most loved Gundam series is Zeta Gundam, and that has tons of mech designers. That's got the original guy, whose name escapes me right now, and it will come back to me as soon as we stop recording, so I'm sorry. But the guy who designed the original Gundam. Then it's got Mamoru Nagano, the guy who designs the 5-star story stuff. I mean, he was responsible for things like the Cubile and other weirdness. Then there was another, then there's another 2 mech designers. They were quite famous. The one was the guy who went on to design some of the stuff for Pat Labor and stuff as well, and a few others. Like, it's crazy how many different mech designers all work on something, you know.
And also, like, when they work together, they also got, like, you know, bring it together just so they can all feel like they coexist, you know, in the same universe. So maybe it's like one mechanical designer that's learning something from another guy and just incorporating some of these, like, you know, design language into his own thing, you know. So they kind of blend in together, you know. Like a blender, just go.
What's that meme with Shia LaBeouf?
I don't know. But anyway, like, from all these concepts, we love them. Yeah.
Now let's look at some
please,
of the
please, like, before we get into the model kits, like, if let us know how you feel, you know. Drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear. Yeah.
Okay,
guys, so we're gonna look at the model.
Your thoughts? Now, eh? Yeah.
Okay, so obviously going from the 3 concepts, the concept of the 3 suits, they now announced those same suits in Gunpla form as well, you know, in model kits. So before we just go into them, I just want to highlight that these are just like first announcements. So we don't have all information. So for example, we don't have information on the release month. And we don't have information on their pricing. And I'm also thinking like the 2 suits from the prologue, I'm thinking they're probably going to be released before the anime is. You know, it's a similar thing we saw with Kyokai Senki with Byakuchi. Even though Byakuchi was in like a spin-off manga that was like a what's a prequel to Kyokai Senki, the anime. So that model kit came out first before the mainline model kit. So I feel the 2 Gunplas will be coming out before the main Gundam. Look, we'll see.
It's very typical for Gundam like to do stuff like that as well. So.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to note here is that in the past few announcements we see 3D renders. So obviously it's like, they haven't sort of manufacturing, or they could still be. Or they could still be tweaking, but what we see, all the images here are actual photos of the model kits. Yeah. So it's all ready. Like they just got to go into mass production. But that means they've done all the planning. This is basically like what we see here is going to be retail.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they're this far, the molds are made. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, and exactly. This thing is and my favorite thing. I mean, like when I looked at this. The one thing that, and I look hard because I always do this when I see seams. I'm like, okay, where are the seams? Because I hate seams. Everybody hates seams who builds Gundam. We all hate seams. And I'm like, where are the seams? And I'm like, there it is. There they are. They're there.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're trying to make it intentional, because it almost looks like there's some panel lining. I don't know. But then again, it does look like kind of like a seam.
Let me see the concept art. Nope.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it is a seam. Okay, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But it looks like a very simple seam to fix. So you're looking for seams. So I look for correctional stickers.
They're all here. Like boom, boom.
Yes. On top of a shield where the 3 peg holes are, that white. Yeah. You see, like on the edge is blue. So the actual plastic for that section is blue, and then the white on top of it, you can see it doesn't have the same shine. Or actually it's way too shiny compared to the white part. So you can see that's a correctional sticker. And in the middle of the shield,
also here on the shoulders as well.
Yes,
and in the middle,
those black stripes. So no, that middle, that looks like so it looks like a blue correctional sticker on a white piece. But I think that could be all of it. Obviously, you get the and the rifle scope, Looks like a white
Yes.
sticker as well.
But that's always, or it could be a silver sticker. It could just be reflecting the white.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's actually a white part that you just insert into the scope. But otherwise, everything else, especially the head, it looks all part separated. You know, the different reds, and maybe the yellow on the side. That's great. You know, but not only the correctional stickers. There's you know, you get your traditional foil stickers around the eyes or the cameras just to make them pop a little bit more. And also you get, in this one, you get, there's a clear chest, like smoky gray clear chest. And in one of the photos to the model kit, you'll see that there's almost like holographic lines. We're getting to it.
Yeah, so let me show you one of these here quickly, because we're looking at the aerial. So one of these will open. There we go. So that's the back,
it just swaps out.
I'm so happy that this is how they're handling these parts here. Sorry, just quickly on the leg. I love how they're handling this because it's going to make it so much easier for us to paint. I see another seam on the back of the leg here. But that's an easy fix. That's also, thankfully, an easy seam fix.
Yeah,
there's also one here on the back of the calf. But like looking at the construction of this, I think those will be pretty easy fixes. Don't worry, guys, we've got you. If you don't know how to fix stuff like that, Jeff and I do. So we will totally help you. You can't see it here. Cool pose. There is one where it's like lit up. Here we go. There we go.
I think the last picture with the close up.
Yes. Here we go.
So it almost looks like it's you can have optional parts. Like you can either put on the sticker on the inside or not, because you can even see it on that forehead. It also has like those red details in it, and
also
on the
the
chest.
Here.
It looks, because previously it was a black strip. And now it's like a holographic, it almost looks like a holographic sticker. And also on the thigh, can you see that smoky gray? So when we saw in the teaser earlier, like it does light up. It almost looks like a psycho frame, and then has these lines like bleeding through, you know? So,
And what is this pose? Wow, last shooting.
It's the last shooting. Is this a spoiler in the anime? Are they going to recreate this?
Oh, there's another seam. Oh, we're going to go crazy. No, guys, I mean, that kind of seam, that's expected in a kit like this. You know,
so actually, can we stay on that big picture at the top? Because now I'm going to be predicting gimmicks. Okay, so with the concept art, you know, it's I didn't go into too much guessing, but on the actual model kit, you can guess a little bit more by seeing the part separations and all that.
Especially here.
So, you know, with their current photos, they're not showing features or gimmicks to the suit, you know, because obviously it's going to be spoilers. You know, you want to see them in the anime. So here it's all very classic poses, nothing too special. But if I'm starting to guess here, that shield looks like it can separate, like especially the bottom piece.
So
it almost looks,
these are not lined up correctly here.
Yeah, slightly. You know, it's
like,
real world.
They're a little off.
You know,
they're just a little off. Yeah.
And in those yellow rectangles on the shield, they almost look like thrusters. So what I'm thinking here is like, could the shield can like actually open up and turn into a flight backpack?
Very likely. I mean, if we go to the back, if we go to this shot of the back here, and you look
it does have a hard point to connect to something.
Yeah, that, and also it's got a joint there for this to swing out, and it looks even like this also swings out. Yeah.
So even looking on this back photo, you can see the back of the shield. The top two also there's a little peg that it shows it can open up as well. But if there's also another gimmick I'm thinking of, is that if we look at the front of a shield.
Let me get a nice front of the shield shot. This is a great one, actually. Yeah.
Okay. And that rifle looks like the top and the bottom of a rifle almost looks like there's a groove that almost feels like the gray pieces in the shield can also like disconnect and maybe add on to the rifle to have like a hyper bazooka. I mean, not hyper bazooka, hyper rifle
weapon or something.
Yeah, hyper beam weapon kind of, you know, add on. We've seen something like that. I think in Build Fighters, we've seen something like that or something where you know the rifle itself.
Seen that in Stray as well.
Yeah,
that
too many.
Sword. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking these could be the possible gimmicks on the Gundam aerial. Yeah. What do you think? Like, what's other things that you want to add on?
No, dude, I mean, for me, like, you nailed the one with the wings. I also feel like that the shield is going to play a huge role in what this unit can do. And that I think it's going to have a lot of high mobility because of that. I do feel like this gun is important for something, because every time I've looked at this gun, it looks like it's got, yeah, like you said, ports and slots and things. Like, it's supposed to have something that connects to it to make it bigger or more ferocious. Obviously, yes, it can peg into the suit. If I look at the back here and I look at the shield, I'm like, well, it doesn't look like it goes into the shield for storage. It looks like, if anything, it's going to go here for storage. So, and that's not a male point. So there must be something. There must be something that pops out of this to pop it there easy. But then there's got to be something on the shield that connects to the weapon. I feel like.
So I'm thinking the shield, when it's not in use, like, to just connect to the back. So my thinking is, like, when it deploys, the shield would transform into a flight pack to get into the combat zone quicker, and then once it's in the combat zone, it will detach and then connect to the side of the arm. And for the rifle, you see on the side of the thigh, there's a grey hard point. So I'm thinking, like, you know, the rifle maybe attaches there when it's not in use. Not
maybe
sure.
I don't know. That for me, I haven't really seen many Gundam do that. And if they do, they normally make a bigger fuss of it. So yeah, let's see. I know, like, for me, this gimmick, how this works, I wonder if Bandai, I'm curious if this is going to be like, you're going to get two sets of these parts, so one set you can put stickers on and one set you can leave plain. I hope that'll be nice, so that we can,
because you can interchange.
But looking at this, I've already, like, thought of ways on how I would do this, because this is going to take a little bit of, this is going to be some tricky work to make this, you know, happen with paint. So I've been thinking about how to get that right. More than trying to guess the gimmicks.
Well, maybe just use the stickers, because it looks like a high quality holographic sticker, you know, like, it's it seems like something you can use, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, listen, I think it's just like, I enjoy the skill challenge of it as well. I think that's more what I'm coming through. Something that's also, like, kind of cool to mention is double jointed knees. It looks like it's got double jointed knees, which is very great. The fact that it can take a pose on the knee like this is a big thing. It makes me feel like they worked very hard to make sure the engineering for the legs works. And this is obviously from the poster shot. So somebody at Bandai was like, yeah, I better see this happen.
Yeah, it's like a money shot, you know. But looking at this, you can really see it's they're taking what they've done with the IBO kits and then bring it over to this. It almost looks like it will have a full internal inner frame.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to say full, but mostly, yes. More so than a normal HG. But let's quickly have a look at the Lafrith and the Bagua, bow, or whatever it is. I just want to just get some, like, look how rad this is in model kit form. She looks so good. I mean, here I'm saying she, because it already just feels like
I think they all like
very
look like a female,
But this is so great. I love this, and I love the pink used for this. Like, you know, I just really like a lot of stock Gundam colors. So once again, I'm like, yay! I've got an excuse to paint something fluorescent pink, which always makes me happy. Yeah, I know it's a weird quirk, but I want to check the back. You see here, this whole section here at the back looks way more interesting. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this all works. I'm looking at this now. I can see how maybe the gun could fit in there, but I wonder now if this, because something tells me the shield on this might have a semi-similar thing to the aerial. Like, it looks like it might expand a little bit, but not the same. I think there's a reason the aerial Gundam is called the aerial Gundam. You know?
Yeah. So speaking about the shield, and just go to the front view again. The first pick. So if this is done by the same, like, if this concept art is done by the same designer who worked on Quanta, you know, the Quanta also has like a one-sided shield that basically it's a shield made out of blades. So like it can just so it almost looks like, if I look very carefully, this shield is not one single piece. It looks like it can part separate. And if I look at the gun and also the backpack, the gun itself looks like a very big like slot in the front. Again, maybe like the aerial can have the shield pieces go inside and have like an add-on power up. And also on the backpack, those slits or those racks, like, are they actual thrusters or are they racks? Because it almost looks like they're racks.
Maybe
so
the
like,
shield goes into there. The back,
like
the shield slots into there somehow.
Like maybe like when not in combat, it just has all the parts separated and slot into the backpack. I don't know why. And then when it's needed in use, it can like combine together, or they can just fly around and use it as a weapon. Maybe they can shoot beam effects out of it, or be like a blade and just attack, so it's both defensive and offensive. I don't know. We've seen that with the Quanta,
It's curious, man. Like that's the thing. I mean, we're only going to really get our answers as we get closer to the prologue, because I'm pretty sure that Bandai is at some point going to release more images of these, like more action-packed images of these. So we're going to see some of the gimmicks in typical Bandai style. We're going to see them have pictures of the gimmicks. So that's cool stuff. I mean, that we're definitely going to have those questions answered. It's fun to speculate. I think, the thing is right now is, please do not take what we're saying as gospel.
Yeah.
Don't think that because Jeff and I said it now, it's going to be like that. And you're like, oh, I don't like that. Maybe it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
It's just us, like, obviously, we're thinking about this.
And
why do I
if
have to
you
put a
have any
disclaimer like that?
and if you have any ideas, share them with us. We would love to hear it as well. And I almost look at
hear you fanboy, fangirl, fan out.
And then that's the greatest thing when a new like original Gundam show gets announced, because it's like at this point it doesn't seem like there's any connection to previous franchise, which means it's like a new technology or a different time or different settings. So all these like our imaginations just goes wild, like if we do see another like show or whatever gets announced for UC franchise, we can always kind of make sense of it, because like it has its certain technology. Well, if it's in a certain time frame, we can kind of guess what the limitation is. We can predict it much better. But this, it's just easier, like
way easier.
Our imagination is just like going wild. But I almost feel like maybe the backpack and the rifle can combine and detach from the unit and become like an aerial drone or something, and just, I don't know.
You got all the ideas. And then we got the
last
big whale. Oh, hold on, let me get that properly. Yeah, the big wheel, big whale or big whale.
Baguette.
Baguette. But yeah, and here she is, or here, and it is very much a she. Like even this pose is very like Cubile. And once again, like something to note, we haven't seen any weapons. We still haven't seen this unit hold any weapons, which makes me feel like it is the weapon. And then we got the back here, and we can see all of this stuff and how it's working.
Which is like I think Recon Gista and G also had like a lot of mobile suits. They didn't have any weapons. Like they basically just have beam effects come out of their hands, and then they just shoot. Like basically they have like laser beams coming out of their own bodies.
So they don't actually built-in weapons.
So they don't actually need to hold any physical weapons.
The legs are just for show.
Yeah, this one looks really cool. Yeah.
I'm keen to see this. In a lot of ways, this seems a lot more straightforward. It looks like this has got something that folds out here, out of the wing. But I think like how this works, and also just to come back to what you were saying now about the wings and the shield, this is definitely, these are definitely some form of wings. There's definitely something that's popping out here.
Yeah,
and the fact that this can fly. Yeah, and the fact that this has got wings, that it means that this Gundam has to meet it somehow. I really do feel like this is the antagonist suit. This is definitely the bad guy.
Well, it is in a prequel, prologue, so maybe
Yeah.
they get destroyed or something. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
Or maybe our main character was a bad guy first. You know, maybe she's the pilot of this unit first, you know, or something. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I think we've pretty much speculated the heck out of this. I think we need more speculation, and we're just going to start really just making stuff up.
Yeah.
But just quickly on these two designs, or on the model kits, when you look at them, are you excited about the kits, Jeff? Are you like, I want to build these?
Yeah. So I think, as a good sign-off, let's just say, what are we excited about? Like for me, look, there's only 3 that was like revealed, right? So it's really hard for me to pick, but I think the biggest take I want to just sum it up is I love both the Gundams, the Gundam Aerial and the Gundam, what's it?
Lefrith, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, I want to get both of them and kit bash into one.
Oh, you want to make an even more ultimate one? Okay.
Because I just I love the thrusters on the Lefrith. So like I want to take its legs and its waist unit and its arms, and even its shield, and then attach it to the other Gundam. Yeah.
Hey, maybe for all we know in the anime they do combine. It can happen.
And then how do you feel with these?
Dude, if I could only buy one, it would be the Lefrith, definitely. So I know for a fact that that's my favorite. But I really want all 3 of these. I am very excited about the release of these. They look like they're going to be fun, quick, easy builds, which is always nice for me. I'm really hoping that the show is going to be great. But just, when I look at the kits, I'm very excited for Lefrith or Lefrith, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great kit.
Yeah, I look at all 3 of these model kits and I can really see that Bandai, there's that previous model kit's DNA or legacy, all their learnings continued. So I can see like hints of IBO, not hints, like the DNA of IBO, see bits of Reconquista NG, bits of the IBO, even 30 minutes missions, I can see a bit of that. And Kyokai Senki as well, especially the what's it? Bagua?
Oh, the Bagua or Bagui.
Yeah, the head looks like a Reiki's head.
Oh yeah. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, it's got those
very
bug eyes.
Insect-like kind of feel. Hey, it's very praying mantis-y kind of bug vibe going.
Yeah.
I just also love the color palette used for these. I know it sounds weird, but like when you buy in South Africa, like one of the funny things is when you go to buy model kit paint and you can't find certain colors, because they're just out there. I mean, like this kind of pink. We've only now got this color pink in South Africa in the form of Mr. Hobby.
Pink,
yeah, like Mr. Hobby we finally have Mr. Hobby. This is such a mecha or such an anime color actually, and so is this purple. I mean, yes, we've had a purple in the Tamiya line and whatever for a while, but it's nice to like have like an excuse to use those paints. But it's cool to use those paints and to have mainline suits that are using those colors, in the series. It's nice to see a bit of a color departure, even though this is still, blue and yellow and white. It's a different blue and yellow, which is cool. It's not that same Gundam yellow, which I'm happy about. It sort of leans a little bit. I don't know if you saw this, but I also get a bit of that Beyond Global Gundam vibe in this design as well. There's like a bit of that, like you said, Gundam Bandai is taking what they've learned when it comes to making the model kits. So I'm feeling that as well.
And I feel they really want to be inclusive with not just the series, but also with the model kits to a wider demographic, appealing to the female audiences as well.
I definitely feel
and still be really cool for because we know when it comes to Gundam and Gunpla, it's very male dominated when it comes to the fans, but even as us guys, we see these designs and it's got their feminine touch. I'm super
which I think we need.
Super exciting because it's so refreshing,
No, I agree fully agree. So yeah, man. So obviously as Gunpla SA, we can't tell you exactly when these are coming because nobody knows except for Bandai and their partners. But I can say this much. For those of you in the build force already, if you guys are interested, please start letting us know. Then we have numbers. Because as soon as we can put in an order for these, obviously we want to. So
as soon as supply opens up the pre-orders, we'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, just let us know what you are interested in, and we can get the numbers together. And there's nothing to commit on your side. We just want to know how much is enough, because we don't want to order 10 and then you guys all 10 of you guys, or all 30 of you guys buy out, and then we have nothing for the rest of the store for other new customers, So
or even worse, Jeff and I don't have one to build.
So that's it, guys. So drop in the comments, let's see what you guys think. Drive the hype train going,
let's get this going. But let us know in the comments what you thought of these. Do you guys also enjoy this kind of video where we speculate about stuff in Gundam? Because Jeff and I can always take other things in Gundam and really talk about it more. So let us know about that as well. And I think, dude, just before we get too crazy and start talking about more Gundam, let's end the video now. Let's say thank you to everybody who has been watching this, guys. I hope that you've been enjoying the last few minutes with us. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one, because on the next one we are going to be talking about some community related news, unless of course Bandai releases more stuff next week.
Hopefully
but
not.
I don't see that happening.
We're still waiting for Bandai to release us more information on that MGEX Strike Freedom, right?
Yeah, the super bright version.
It's when is it coming out and how much is it? Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to see more pictures, but
Yeah, we want to see more Bandai. Come down. Stop playing coy. But guys, thank you so much. Cool. And remember to always do the thing.
Building joy. Yay. Hit the new sign off. Whoa.
Ultraman headbutt. Bonk.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye, dude.